On November 21st, 2023, at 2:47 p.m. Pacific Time, I sat in a Seattle hotel room and hit send on a post to X. I was stepping down as CEO of Binance. The statement was brief and professional, but the moment I hit send, the notification sounds stopped. The constant buzzing of the previous 6 years just ended. For the first time since 2017, I was no longer responsible for the operations of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange. That same morning in Washington, the Department of Justice announced the largest corporate resolution in the history of the Treasury Department. The settlement documents detailed exactly $4.3 billion in corporate penalties. I pleaded guilty to violating the Bank Secrecy Act and agreed to pay a personal fine of $50 million. I am a software engineer who built a system that outgrew my original intentions. Today, the public record of my work is viewed through two lenses: as a pioneering role in financial inclusion and as a willful failure of compliance. I moved 12 times before I turned 18. Moving that often forces you to adapt quickly to new environments, but it can also prevent you from developing an instinct to stay in one place and follow every local rule. As a child, I liked to take things apart. I wanted to see the mechanical logic of how they worked. In 2013, I was a 36-year-old programmer in Shanghai with a failed startup behind me. Then I read the Bitcoin white paper. My instinct is to solve problems through code. To a software engineer, the white paper offered a way to move financial value without the friction of traditional intermediaries. This system allowed for direct, peer-to-peer transactions that operated at the speed of the internet, entirely bypassing the central hubs as the legacy financial world. I used that logic to build the foundational DNA of Binance, prioritizing the speed and adaptability of decentralized code. Code is borderless. However, the legal systems that govern money are rigid and strictly tied to physical geography. During Binance's early growth, I prioritized the platform's expansion over the development of an anti-money laundering program. That decision resulted in the specific charge I accepted in my plea agreement, an inadequate compliance program under the Bank Secrecy Act. My instinct was to solve every problem through a script rather than through a compliance department. In that mindset, regulation registers as mechanical friction rather than a requirement. I operated under the assumption that a digital, decentralized system could exist without being subject to the physical governments surrounding its users. Ignoring real-world jurisdictions was a fatal error. Moving global money eventually forces a collision with the world's most powerful governments. The consequences of those choices became real in April 2024, when I sat in a Seattle courtroom for my sentencing hearing. The judge sentenced me to 4 months in a federal facility in Lompoc, California. On October 23, 2025, I learned through a news alert on my phone that President Donald Trump had granted me a full and unconditional pardon. Critics, including Representative Maxine Waters, labeled me a crypto criminal and described the pardon as favoritism. The pardon erased the felony from my record. It did not erase the experience of those months in prison or the years of legal proceedings that led me there. When I first read the Bitcoin white paper in 2013, I was a programmer in Shanghai. Today, that industry has grown into an ecosystem that touches every corner of global finance. For the next phase of this technology, the builder's instinct to solve problems with code must operate within the reality of traditional compliance. I am telling this story now so that the details of this collision between new money and old governments come from me before others write the story for me.